Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Joseph Pisani, and welcome to Mevo Live. So, if you haven't joined or seen us before, we are the Mevo Live show where we answer your questions live about all things Mevo. And today, I'm joined by Senior Technical Specialist Will Kirkpatrick. Will, thanks for joining us today.
What's up, Joe? What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Awesome, awesome. So, as you can see, we're at two different locations. So, let's just briefly go over the setup that we have today. So, for me, I'm using a single Mevo camera, and that is being used wireless webcam to my iMac, which I'm actually running today. And then from there, I'm bringing that signal into OBS. So, the graphics you're seeing today, with the exception of the countdown in the beginning, are actually coming from OBS, but the countdown in the beginning was actually created using specifically the Mevo. My audio, I actually have a blue Bluebird, which you kind of can't see. It's a little bit out of frame here, but that is going to my mixer and then back into my Mevo, and then that audio is then being brought into OBS as well. So, Will, tell us a little bit about your setup. I know yours is mine's a little bit more analog, and yours a little bit more digital. So, how are you running things today?
Yeah, so I've got my Vivostart connected to Ethernet using the Mevo Power over Ethernet adapter. And then for audio, I'm using a blue baby bottle microphone, and it is connected to an M audio mixer, which is then connected back to the Vivostart using a 3.5 millimeter TRS cable. And then that Vivostart is sending my NDI signal to my computer and then out
Awesome,
to you.
awesome. So yeah, and again, today we're using Skype, which is a great, a great way to use the NDI signal from a conference application and bring it into OBS to get it for the stream. And so far, I mean, it's been working very well. So of course, today is Mevo Live, and we have a couple of things we want to talk about. There's Will, there's me. So today is our Thursday show, and if you don't know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays we do shows at 2 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on Facebook.com, Twitch.tv, YouTube.com, all at Mevo Camera. So if you're following us on Facebook or YouTube, we're on Twitch as well, vice versa for the other ones. On the Tuesday shows, we try to do a single cam show where we're doing to show you like the capabilities of what a single Mevo can do using either the Mevo 2.0 app or the Mevo Multicam app. On Thursdays, as you can see, things get a little bit more in depth as far as bringing in other sources, bringing people from other locations. So again, that's Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Hey, Will, you want to talk about the sale we have going on right now?
Yeah, we've got a sale on the Vivostart right now on Mevo.com. Let's see.
Yep.
Do you have that
Yep, it
graphic
should be
pulled
up
up?
there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we've got a sale on Mevo.com for the Vivostart. You can save $20 right now. So as if there aren't enough reasons to pick up a Vivostart, now we have a sale that makes it even more affordable.
Absolutely. And that is available at Mevo.com. Now, that is a sale that ends on the 16th. So it's going on until it looks like Saturday. So if you're hearing this now, you're seeing this now, and you were looking to get the Mevo, now's a great time to get a discount at Mevo.com. And then, of course, we have our referral program. So for those of you watching, I know you've heard this before. If you're new to this, this is a great program that we have. So with the referral program, you can actually create your own custom code and save friends or family 5% on their Mevo purchase and earn a 5% commission on your end as well. So you can learn more about that at mevo.com/referral or mevo.com/refer. And that is, again, for mevo.com purchases, US only. All right, housekeeping is done. So looks like the chat's moving along. So let's dive into some questions. All right, I'll kick us off. So Ben Beckner is saying, hey, Ben, nice to hear from you. All right, Jesse saying, what is the best internet source for streaming outside? What do you suggest? Hardware? Question mark. So, well, you've done a lot of outdoor streaming. So what would you suggest for Jesse here?
I would say the best case scenario would be using either a 5G phone or a 5G hotspot. I know Netgear makes a really good 5G hotspot. And then depending on what you're doing, if you're doing the multicam setup or a single Mevo, you may want to get some kind of Wi-Fi hub, either that's powered by an external battery pack, or if you have some kind of power source to just plug that in.
Awesome. And definitely, if you're doing any type of outdoor streaming, Jesse, you want to make sure that you're just testing all the time, right? So if you're using an LTE connection, you want to make sure that those speeds are sufficient. Awesome. Ron from YouTube says, is it best to use as a webcam or through NDI when connecting the Vivostart to Vmix? What's the main difference? Okay. Well, I don't have much experience with Vmix, but generally, I mean, the main difference between webcam and NDI is just how it connects to the computer. If you're doing multiple cameras, you're going to want to take the NDI route just because you can bring in more wireless sources. The wireless webcam application can only use one instance of wireless webcam at a single time, so that might make your decision right there. I kind of moved away from NDI into wireless webcam after like that latest update, just because it's been working pretty flawlessly for me, so I haven't needed to use NDI. However, today, I mean, Will has a lot of NDI going on, so do you have an opinion one way or the other,
Always.
whether it becomes webcam or NDI?
It depends on your network. It depends on your setup. If you want to do like take advantage of using Ethernet, NDI would probably be your better option. NDI is typically lower bandwidth using HEVC, so that's another thing to consider. But yeah, both are really solid. Obviously, if you're referring to wired webcam mode, you won't get the same resolution as you would if you were using wireless webcam.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point. So
yeah, those are
yeah,
all things
wired
to
webcam
consider.
mode is going to limit you to a 720p maximum resolution, where wireless you can do 1080. So that might help that decision as well. And NDI you can do 1080 as well. All right, cool. So Ben's asking about the he's asking about the new look, really. Several posts on Instagram regarding the Logitech and big news coming. Yes, Logitech does have a lot of big news coming. Obviously Mevo is part of Logitech now, and what we're doing here, if you notice the new look, the C's you're seeing, is we are a brand of Logitech that is really focused for creators, which is why the Mevo is being included, right? So the Mevo is for users that are really like expanding their productions or trying to really create visual content, podcasts, whatever it is, events that people use the Mevo for. Is kind of endless. And we're part of that new category for Logitech. And you're going to see a lot of stuff coming in this way. It's stuff that's really geared toward that creator. So we're pretty excited. And the big news coming along is just going to be all kinds of new fun things that Logitech's going to bring to the table. So we're pretty excited moving forward. Sweet. Leo says, thanks for doing this. I learned something every show. Awesome. Thank you, Leo, for joining us. Anyone else having issues with Multicam app? Let's see. Long story short, streaming and recording a softball tournament, and both cameras, after 10 to 15 minutes live, cut off the recording. Cut off, recording stayed. Oh, that's interesting. So you're seeing the recording kept going. Jay, maybe elaborate on that. Did the recording keep going and then just the stream stopped? Because that's unusual.
Well, if you're doing ISO recording, the cameras are recording on their own. So if the stream fails, it could continue going through ISO recording, but that shouldn't happen if you're recording to your device, because the stream will cut off.
So the ISO recordings continue even if the stream fails. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's a pretty awesome feature actually. So maybe that's it. Check your speeds again. Anytime anyone's saying they're doing something from like a softball or baseball field, it could just be the connection's not great and it's just losing connection too. So double check that as well.
Yeah.
So Ben is asking, what does the C on your lower third mean? And that means the C stands for creators, as we kind of just went over, right? And that's kind of where we're going with this. Ron says, hi from Odessa, Florida. Hello, Ron. All right.
Nice.
Jay's chiming in more. He's saying, happened a couple of times. Live button, turned it back on. And he switched to the single cam app and there was no issues. It could be, that's what I mean. It could be a bandwidth issue. Running one camera versus three cameras obviously is going to be more strain on whatever network you're using. Maybe if it keeps happening, Jay, just maybe open up a ticket with us at help.mevo.com, and we could dig deeper into it, maybe get some logs and see if there's anything actually going on there. But obviously, double check your network, and if you have anything less than like 10 megabytes per second upload speeds, you might run into issues on LTE. So that's just like an underlining root cause, right? Well, like you always want to check that.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. This is a great question for you, Will, actually. Jim is chiming in saying, how do I connect 3 Vivostarts to each other's hotspots?
Yeah, so the Multicam introduced AP mode in version 1.3. And so what this allows you to, wait, is it 1.3? No, it was 1.2. So what this allows you to do is configure one Vivostart to hotspot mode, and then it connects the other 2 Mevos to that Mevo that's in hotspot mode. So everything from your device to the other Mevos connects to that single Mevo hotspot. So there are 2 ways to do this. One is through the Multicam app. This is the fastest and easiest way to do it by far. And that is just by tapping the setup button next to that Mevo. And then it'll go through a process of asking, do you have Wi-Fi or do you not have Wi-Fi? And then you can select AP mode, and that'll connect the other Mevos automatically. But you can also do this manually by using the Mevo 2.0 app and configuring each Mevo's network settings, one to hotspot mode, and then the other 2 Mevos to that first Mevo. So that would be the 2 ways to do that.
That's awesome. Thanks for that explanation. So yeah, so Jim, absolutely, you can essentially just take one Mevo, set it up as a Wi-Fi like source, and then connect the other Mevos to it. All right, Jai is saying greetings. Greetings, Jai. Let's see. There seems to be a longer than normal delay between Joseph and Will. Really? I'm not noticing that. Let me know if anyone else sees that. We should be pretty in sync from my end. I mean, Will, you experiencing any type of delay?
No, okay. It looks fine to me.
Yeah, we're responding pretty on top of each other, so I don't know. Leo. All right, Fred the Hippo in the house saying hello, and he's shocked by the different logos.
What's up, Fred?
Jim is using a 5G MiFi device.
You got to keep everybody on their toes.
Got to keep you coming back. Keep you watching, right? All right. Sploosy on Twitch. Hi, Sploosy. Saying hello. Great. All right, Ron says thanks.
Hey.
Okay. Okay, this is a great question from Charlie, and it's actually another multicam question for you there, Will. So it says, I've heard you say the controlling device should have 3 gigabytes of RAM, not storage, RAM. But on Facebook forums, chats have been saying 4 gigabytes for multicam. Is 4 required? So, I mean, we recommend 3, but obviously as much as you can get, right?
Yeah. 3 is the minimum for multicam to run the way that it should, but the more RAM that you have, the better it can handle all the cameras and switching and graphics and everything like that.
Yeah, 3 is the minimum, but it can be taxing, especially if you're, like Will said, if you have a bunch of different angles, a bunch of different graphics, if you're using, just all the features of the Mevo. Go for the highest RAM you can within your budget. That's really what I recommend. Okay. Brian says, hello from Minnesota. Love these shows. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you watching. Sploosy says, streaming to RTMP has me super intrigued. Awesome. So, is she the only one from Twitch chatting? Maybe. So, Will, just to give Sploosy a little rundown, she's on Twitch, so she probably has an idea of how RTMP works, but how does it work with the Mevo?
Yeah, so the Mevo uses RTMP very similarly to how OBS uses RTMP. So for Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and I think Twitter as well, and lots of other services, they all use RTMP. It's pretty universal, and it's very easy to use. And the advantage for using RTMP over just the destination buttons is that the destination buttons use the APIs, which means that sometimes these big websites can have issues, whether they're updating their APIs or having issues with their server, like the Facebook outage the other day. RTMPs typically bypass that, and you don't have to worry about those kind of API issues. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. It takes a little bit more time to set up initially, but once you have it set up, it's just as fast as using the API.
Awesome. Thanks, Will. So David is saying, are the Ethernet power adapters on back order? I've seen 3 different prices, depending on where you look. So the power on Mevo.com, they are not on back order right now. I don't believe. Let me just double check. No, they are available. So Mevo.com, they are $149.99. So I would go there. Best place to get them. All right, Fred the Hippo. Any recommendations for cases to hold 3 to 4 Mevo cases? You know, we don't have like a big rack case that fits a lot of Mevos in it. We've talked about it. I think it's a great idea. You know, but I mean, well, I've just used old mic cases, like flight cases, the ones with hard shells, foam inside, and kind of just cut the foam up to to fit the Mevos. I know Joe Mevo has a great one where his Mevos sit like just so inside the case, which is pretty awesome. So with that, I mean, just any type of flight case that, you know, that would be meant to protect, let's say, a microphone or another camera would probably work just fine.
It's a great idea, though. We should get a multicam case going.
I think that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
All right, Fred also says, or camera lens covers. I like that idea too. Maybe like a little clip goes on the front of the lens. Not a bad idea. Spoosy, am I the only one from Twitch chatting here? It looks like it right now, Spoosy, but we appreciate you and we're happy you are chatting on Twitch and promoting our Twitch channel. So if you don't know, we are on Twitch at Mevo Camera, so make sure everyone knows that. So she wants to know, how do the cams perform under heat, and are they recommended for shoulder-mounted view, like with stabilization? So I guess she wants to use this as kind of a handheld, maybe an action camera style. So what are your opinions on that there, Will?
So the Mivo has EIS, which is electronic image stabilization. So it does stabilize the image a little bit. It's not like a huge amount. Typically, we don't have users that kind of walk around with their Mivo, but you definitely could. And in terms of heat, the Vivostart handles heat really, really well compared to maybe past Mivos that don't. So I don't know specifically how hot it can go, but it would have to be pretty hot to really have an issue.
All right. So great. Ben is asking if for a feature request, and what he's asking for is to allow the recording to continue if the stream should fail. This one does get asked a lot, but I don't know this, but I mean, as far as just like doing this for a while now, the inherent reason for that is because people will just leave their recordings on, right? Like they'll end their stream, they'll be really excited, they just finished a show, and no one's gonna go over to the Mevo and shut it off, or go into the app and shut the recording off. So then we're just eating up SD cards. I think that's ultimately the reason. I could be wrong though. What do you think about that? Right?
I think you're right. Yeah. It's definitely highly requested though.
So I mean, if we could find a way, maybe they put a timer on it or something, you know, maybe that'll be a little bit better. All right. Jim's saying, if 3 cameras are recording, how do you replay it for someone who wants to see it? Examples, a concert or sporting event. You know what? I'm blanking on this. The Multicam doesn't have a playback feature, right?
Yeah, there's no instant playback. If you wanted to record to your device, then you could do that and then instantly share that from your device. That's probably the best way to kind of replay it, but you have to stop recording and stop streaming to do that.
So there's no like replay buffer or anything like that that's gonna continue to record if you stop and try and edit something on the fly like that. Cool. Oh, Ron Phillips is coming in with a suggestion for Fred the Hippo. He uses an Apache case from Harbor Freight. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Nice.
Can't go wrong with those. Jose saying hello. And Rohain saying hello.
What's up, Jose?
All right. Leslie is saying, love it. Less strain on the hotspot. Awesome. Multicam AP for the win. Jason Hoffman chiming in. Looks like we're gonna get like a string of praise right here. This is great. Jim, awesome. Thanks for the hotspot info. Okay. All right. So Ron is saying he's definitely seeing a delay. What are we seeing, guys? Are we seeing a delay in the audio? I don't see it. Let me double check Twitch real quick. Let's nip this in the butt. Let's troubleshoot live today. What do you say, Will?
Yeah, always. I don't know. It looks very close to being spot on. If it's not completely spot on, I don't know. What do you think? What's your expert audio opinion?
If my computer would load up Twitch, I would be happy to tell you.
So this is one thing that we've discussed a lot, actually, because although we feel like Skype has been the best possible solution that we've found so far, there still is issues. When you're going from one program from the Mevo to a program like OBS, and then from OBS to Skype, and then Skype to the other person, and then the other person brings Skype via NDI to OBS, and then streamed out to Restream, and then out to you guys. So you can imagine with all of these things going on that there are variations that happen when it comes to audio and video. And so we were just talking about this, whether or not we wanted to weigh the pros and cons of Skype. One thing we do notice is that they kind of do weird things to colors, so it's not quite the perfect colors that we have in our Mevo apps, and it just changes it ever so slightly. But with so many things in between, it can definitely happen.
Yeah, I was just watching back on Twitch, and it looks pretty spot on to me. I'm trying, so I don't think I see any audio delay or anything like that. I do hear my computer fan. So
another thing that can
real quick.
Nice.
And just
another thing that can cause audio slippage is that depending on the kind of computer you have, if you have like a Windows computer, your graphics card drivers can be affected by whatever is going on your computer, and so that can actually change the audio sync, as well as just general internet issues in general.
So I don't know if you noticed, but I took out some of that background noise. So let me know if the people listening, you guys hear that difference. Yeah, so Ron, so he's saying sometimes we hear him after the response. That might, because that's not happening every time, unless it's just something going on with the feed where it's just delaying it, the feed out. I'm not seeing that on my end. Everything looks pretty clean and smooth on my end. So if that's the case, then it might be happening post the stream. So it could just be an internet related issue. Okay, cool. Let's continue. All right.
Yep.
Okay, great question from Christopher. He says he's thinking of upgrading to a more powerful iPad. Is the Multicam app compatible with the newer iPad Pro with the M1 chip?
Yeah, 100%. The M1 chip causes issues more on the computer than it does on iOS devices.
Interesting. And people are saying, yeah, we're definitely getting a delay between us. Interesting. I don't know why. Maybe be a little bit more specific. Is it our voices are coming after we're speaking? Okay, cool. What do you think, Will? I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah,
we
got maybe.
All right. Prime X or X Prime X Says, first watcher to the show, how well does the 3-cam stream run with an M1 Mac Mini? So new to the streaming world, awesome, welcome. Mevo is a great place to start. Also, will there be a new model coming out this year next to 4K? So if you want to use an M1 Mac Mini with the Mevo Multicam or with the 3-pack, then you could connect them either via wired webcam mode or NDI. The Multicam app and the Mevo app will not run on the Mac Mini, but the Mevos will work with the Mac Mini. Also, will there be a new model coming out this year? There will not be a new model coming out this year, but we know everybody's very excited for the next Mevo. Let's see. Fred the Hippo says that he would like to see mechanical zoom instead of digital zoom. Also highly requested. So hopefully in the future. David Macy says cost of RTMP. RTMP is completely free. There are RTMP services like Restream, Vimeo Premium, and I think Caster, and probably some more that do cost money, but you can just use RTMP going to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all those things, all for free.
I'm back. So I did look at YouTube, and it did look a little bit off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset your NDI input and see if that helps us. So let me go to me. Hi, guys.
Cool. Do it.
All right. So we are going to go to Will real quick. I mean, he looks great on my end, but let's reset it anyway and see what happens. All right. So Willie back.
Cool. What's up?
Let me just put my ear monitor on.
Hi, good.
Go ahead, talk to me a little bit.
What's up, Joseph? How's it going? I really like our new color scheme. I really like the new font a lot, honestly.
Let's go ahead and put.
Am I coming in all right?
I think it's a little behind. I put a little delay on it. Let's see it now. I'm just want to mute my output. So what we're happening. So we're doing live troubleshooting right now, team. And so what I'm doing is I can hear Will from a couple of different spots, right? I can hear him in Skype, and I can hear him monitoring through OBS. Now, the Skype is going to be the most direct feed for me to hear him. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to monitor him through OBS just to make sure that it looks synced in my OBS feed. Now, if it's synced in my OBS feed, then whatever delays may be happening is happening after OBS, and then that'll have to be addressed on the internet side of things. So, Will, do me a favor. Go ahead and just chat me up a little bit for a few minutes. Maybe answer some questions here.
Sure. We love doing this live troubleshooting because that way you can kind of see the process of how to troubleshoot your streams. I have been streaming for about 15 years now, maybe a little bit longer. And so I'm clearly A, very old, and B, very familiar with having all sorts of issues, whether it's not enough bandwidth, because I remember streaming with, I think, 400 kilobits per second, versus now we have considerably more, or issues which happen all the time. But I can also switch to wireless webcam super quickly if I need to do that.
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, is because you're in Skype, I see you coming in perfectly, but in OBS, I'm not sure if it's necessarily syncing correctly. But all right, we're going to continue.
Are you using NDI virtual input or whatever to OBS? Or how are you doing it? You're just pulling it from Skype.
Pulling it from Skype directly. Just trying to eliminate any in between. I just put a little bit of an audio sync. In OBS, there's actually a filter that you can delay the video a little bit to catch in case the audio is a little bit behind. And I just put that on, so hopefully that fixes it. But yeah, we'll continue. All right. So where were we? Nope. Looks like we're getting.
All right, here we go. Sorry, I should have said, what is the cost of Restream? Restream varies. I think their cheapest plan is, I think, $16 a month, but then it gets very expensive towards the high end. And I think right now we've got the higher end. Let's see. What kind of latency is recommended? Obviously, none. Yeah. What is the worst this is supported? So it depends what you're using. If you're using the Mevo app or you're using the Multicam app or anything like that, let us know sort of the details of that, and we'll dive into that a little bit more. Fred the Hip says, can there be a replay mode while recording, streaming, and multicam? Yeah, it was actually mentioned earlier before. I'm not sure if you were in the show yet, but yeah, it's definitely something that a lot of people want to see. And we do a lot of sports, so that would certainly be very cool. Sorry, I'm new to this. The idea of switching between a shoulder view and a side view on a tripod is something I've wanted to for ages for fishing. Nice. Thanks for answering questions. Yeah, you can definitely do that really easily with Cam App. So yeah, definitely check that out. Let's see. Brian says, oh, my chat just jumped on me.
We're at Brian.
All right, let's see.
All right.
It was Ryan. There we go. I've got it. Ryan says sunlight for hours, and it has done fine. That being said, I think being in the shade is a great idea. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely agree. Ron Greenberg says, I have a photo for a case, which would be, I'd be glad to share. Is there a way to share a photo with you? So I would post the case on our Facebook group and then tag Mevo Camera, and you'll see a lot of people will be very appreciative. Cool. Gordon says, hello, creators.
I'm trying to get this
What's
thing
up? Cool.
He's
Charlie's not seeing a delay. So it seems like, yeah, it seems like it's a mixed bag of people that are seeing a delay and people that are not. Ben Beckner says no audio delay.
Then in that case, we're just going to go ahead and stick with what we have here. And I see no reason to change it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for letting us know. All right. Where were we? Yeah, Ron says both our audio and video sync looks good. Looking good here, no delay. All right, so maybe, so again, this is what we're talking about when it comes to live streaming, and we get these in tickets all the time, and sometimes people will be like, this happened or that happened, and you just kind of have to figure it out. I mean, it's really just a signal path, really, like as far as signal flow, right? It starts at the camera. Where does it go from there? Right? Is it going to the internet? Is it going directly to a computer? Is it going to the app? So just keeping all that in mind is super important. All right, I'm just going to skip forward a little bit. Okay. Gordon is asking, is there any limit to the capacity of media used by Mevo cameras? The limit would be the storage limit on your phone or tablet or your SD card.
Yeah, but also we don't recommend SD cards that are over 512.
Sorry, there's a lot of like replying to answers I'm trying to weed through here, guys. If you see anything, Will, please shout it
out. Christian says, is pre-recorded video playback during a live stream on the roadmap?
Apologies. Sorry, Will.
All good?
Yes, you are.
Am I back up now? Cool. So Christian says, is pre-recorded video playback during a live stream on the roadmap? If so, any projections on rollout dates? So it's not currently on the roadmap. It's definitely something the team is looking at. We typically won't have projections for release dates maybe the week before it's released, but other than that, we probably won't.
All right. So, oh, that was the project. Okay. He also has a question about adding presentation. So, is there a method of adding presentation assets directly onto the SD card via computer, or must it be done through the Mevo app? Okay. So for this, you need to download from your device directly onto the Mevo. So if you're doing a PDF presentation, like for example, something like, let me pull up something for you guys. We're going to go into old territory. So something like this on my screen here. And let me get rid of this lower third. So from here, I can click through inside the Mevo app, and I download that directly from my Google Drive. So I just accessed my Google Drive from my tablet, downloaded the files onto my device, and then I was able to access them as a PDF slideshow from the app. Cool. All right. Norman says, has Mevo considered any external filters to be adapted to Mevo or internal filter looks? Image filters, we have some, right? Well, yeah.
We
So
kind
I
of
think there
have
was a
some.
Vivid.
Yeah.
Hold on. We got
High contrast, flat, black
sepia.
and
Yeah.
white, vivid,
So yeah,
sepia.
I mean, so it's it's not as extensive as let's say like a Instagram filter, but you can absolutely use it. And you look at Will right now, getting that moody black and white.
That's right.
I know.
I kind of like it, man.
Yeah, it
Looks
does
good
actually.
with
It
the
pops.
orange.
All right, cool. All right, Sploosie's coming in. She's saying, is it something to do with buffering setting? I wouldn't stress too much about it. It's very minor, the delay. Okay. Sploosie coming in from Twitch, backing us up. I guess this is
Nice.
yeah.
Our one Twitch
Everyone's yelling at
chatter.
me for tinkering too
Holding
much
it
with the
down.
audio. Ron just says the info you are providing is much more important. Well, I agree. Norman said this is a masterclass in troubleshooting live stream issues.
Appreciate it.
You should go back and see some of our when we
Yeah,
first
for
started
better
doing
or
this,
worse.
right when we had to go to remote shows. That was fun. Okay, this is a great question, Will. Swooshy says, what is the voltage requirement to keep power going on the camera? Thinking long outdoor streams.
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's
What is
5
it?
volts,
It's
2
like,
amps for the charger. So as long as you have a charger of
oh,
that
okay.
capacity, you should be fine. It's really not the voltage, it's more the amperage. If you have a fast charger, any type of real mobile device fast charger is going to be probably 2 amps. So any of those will work, and those are pretty common.
You can also do, since the battery is 6 hours, you have a good chunk of battery life. You can also plug in a USB battery pack to like just add another 10 hours on really easily for
That's
like,
true,
I don't
yeah.
know,
Just a regular
$40.
portable USB charger. Cool. So I'm getting praise now that everyone's saying that the audio was great to begin with. Thanks, guys. That's what I thought.
It's because we got an expert here.
So
It
here's a
helps.
question from Jose, and it is: any chance of future updates will be able to get multicam and any NDI at the same time? So the NDI on multicam is like probably, if not our top multicam request, or at least our top 3, I would say, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we're
Yeah,
definitely aware
it's
of
up
that,
there.
Jose. It is.
It's coming soon. It's coming soon, yeah.
All right. Cool.
At the very least, it's in the coming soon section.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
we hope it's coming soon.
All right. David is coming in. Church setting. It continues to shut off at 27 minutes constantly, even though it reformatted the SD cards. Any understanding why? So I have seen 28 minutes, 27 minutes, pretty consistently, honestly. If you're formatted in was it 32, right? I forget the term. Double check, Dave, and make sure that your card is formatted in exFAT. You should get less breaks in the recordings that way. And if they are, maybe open up a ticket with us. Have you seen that, Will?
27 minutes. I know Multicam splits the files that are on like 20 mid 20s.
Oh, that's a good point too, Dave.
Minute wise.
Well, I was going to ask
So,
if you're using
yeah,
Multicam or using the Mevo 2.0 app, yeah.
I assume Multicam because it says 3 cameras.
Did it? Oh yeah, it did. Look at me. All right. But yeah,
Screen cam, that would be cool. Lots of people ask for that also. People want to send that output out. Yeah.
Clark come in from looks like Pennington, New Jersey. Welcome. They're playing. Chris is saying Will just went to old school film mode. Early 90s inspirations.
Right.
Ben has actually a pretty cool question here. He says, what are your top 5 multicam requests? And I'm sure actually if you read through some of this chat, you'll probably find them all. What do you think, Will?
Top 5, obviously, I think Ndi in and out is probably at the very top. Sports specific graphics. What else? Graphics that can be pinned to a specific camera. That's a big one. Adding pre-recorded videos. I think I'm most excited for some kind of Ndi in or out. Personally, because you can do so many things with that. You can bring in videos, you can bring in your computer desktop, you can bring in a game.
Yeah, NDI really opens up doors for
all that stuff.
Victor, yes, Fat32. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Thank you for that. You know, I like that we have support on these shows, which is nice.
Nice.
K-Works, pre-recorded video playback. That's you literally just mentioned it. I mean, that's definitely something that has been requested for sure. All right. Sploosy says, thanks for the info. Got plenty of 5-volt USB power banks. Cool. She's going to look into the cams for her streams. Well, thanks for visiting us. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Randy, come in. Yeah, so for the formatting your SD card questions, I recommend everyone hop over to help.mevo.com. I believe if you just put in micro SD card, one of the first articles will be format. If you just type in the word format, one of the articles will pop up, and that'll give you the breakdown as far as the limitations of the memory cards and SD cards and stuff like that. Definitely a lot of great information there. K-Works, yeah, and Multicam, absolutely, yeah. For the pre-recorded video, that's exactly what we're talking about, and it's one of those things that once you incorporate something like NDI, those are the type of possibilities that become available to us. All right, Norman is saying probably should look at the speed of the SD card. Oh, we're still talking SD cards with Norman. Yeah, he's right. Write speeds are hugely important. If your memory card cannot write at the speed at which you are telling it to, then you will run into issues. And you can change your recording write speeds or bitrate write speeds in the Mevo app. You can do that there. Okay. Reply. Okay, so here's a good one, Will. It says, from Jose, it says, I would really like to be able to use wired webcam mode and record simultaneously to the camera. This would be a really great feature as a fail-safe mode if your computer freezes. It is a great idea. However, if your computer does freeze and you have to switch on the fly like that, I mean, you could do that from the Mevo app. Like you can just go into just disable webcam mode and hit record on the SD card and continue what you were doing.
Yeah, you can also connect your Mevo via an Ethernet adapter. So you would then be officially wired, and you can turn on NDI, and you can record onto the Mevo's SD card with NDI enabled. So that would be the best solution
That's a great
for
point. I didn't even
like
think about
having
that.
that fail
So using
safe.
NDI instead of webcam, now you can record to your SD card, and if your computer shuts off, you don't necessarily have to worry about losing your feed.
Yep. Ben Beckner says, wouldn't it be best to format your SD cards within the app itself? Yes, I always recommend doing app over something else. If you're doing some kind of, you can format it on a computer. Like we were talking about, wanting the files to split less, like then you could do that on your computer. But otherwise, like if it's not a big deal to you, then I would
Yeah,
do
that's good
app
advice.
itself every time.
All right. Norman has an interesting question. Has Logitech purchases impacted your resources available to do new things? Yeah. Yeah, in many ways it has. I mean, we have these great microphones that we could use. We have some headsets that we could use as well. Some mounting things that Logitech offers.
That's true.
And we've actually worked pretty closely with all of their product teams and trying to find ways to incorporate the Mevo into other areas of the company as well. So so far it's been pretty awesome, I gotta say.
That's true. We have upped our stream quality significantly thanks to Logitech.
Fred
So
wants to
that's
know
great.
if
Big
Mevo
fan.
gives you guys free Mevos. Uh, I mean, they do. Well, sort of. So we take
They do.
we
It is the best
some of
perk.
the Mevos that are broken and fix them and keep them.
That's right.
All right.
More accurate.
Yes, Victor saying I format the card in the camera always. It's great advice. And looks like that's it for questions right now. Victor's just really praising the NDI feature using it with Ethernet. He said he loves that combo, which is awesome. Cool.
Speaking of NDI, so we were actually comparing the way that we split our audio. And I thought that was actually pretty interesting, the kind of the different ways that we do it. We do have actually a cool way that I want to try.
With the headphone amp?
You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So what
Yeah.
Will's referencing is, so the way I normally run audio is I'll run it through an audio mixer, and then I'll come out of either the headphone output of that mixer, which is generally just a stereo 3.5. I can show you right here.
Audio cut out. Or maybe for me only.
Oh, how's that now? Yeah, I was trying to show you the cable. I pulled out the cable that I'm actually using.
Yeah, here.
Actually, I can pull out this one. So yeah, it looks like this. So I'm using that cable, which is just a 1/4-inch stereo cable. That is then going to a headphone amplifier, which is a small Behringer headphone amplifier, which I can try and get the shot here. Let's see. Right there. Okay. So what's happening here is my input, because I know, sorry for the terrible setup here, guys. It wasn't intended. My input is coming in here from my mixer. So any microphone I'm using, whether I'm using the Blue or any other type of microphone that's going to my mixer, can now go to my Mevo. And then my 4 headphone outputs are actually going to my individual Mevo. So right now I have 2 Mevos connected, which is output 2 and 4. And then I can control their outputs right here using this as a separate control volume as well. So it gives me a couple of different ways I can control levels to my feeds, depending on which way I want to do it. So the way this would work great for people that are doing streaming is if you're hooking up, let's say, a console, you could have the console audio run to your Mevo, to your mixer, and then you can do all your mixing there and have one straight feed sent to your Mevo for the stream. So it just gives you a couple little options, especially when it comes to leveling your volumes and stuff like that. Now you have a bunch of different breaks along the way in the signal chain to kind of affect that. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense.
Nice, I like that. Yeah, so the way that I'm doing it is, and I talked about this a little bit last show, and I think a lot of people were kind of shocked that you could do this, but NDI lets you split the source, so you can send an NDI signal to multiple different computers or other devices that use NDI. So I have my blue baby bottle microphone connected to a single Mevo, and then that Mevo is connected to 3 different computers. So no matter what computer I'm using, whether it's like gaming in Discord on my PC, or doing a Zoom call on my Mac, or I'm on some family video chat on my other computer, and I can just use the same great amazing mic for all of them at the same time. So very similar to what you're doing, just wireless.
The future version of what I was doing, right? So I'm using analog. I'm using wires. I have a big mess. I'd much rather be using NDI, to be honest with you. So, yeah, Jason, you should see how many things that I've plugged in. If I were to turn around this camera and you get to see my desk, it's pretty amazing how many wires and connections I have. All right, cool.
Looks like we've got a couple of people asking about the specific brand and model
absolutely.
of the amp that you're using.
The model number. It's the HA400. It's by Behringer. That's same company that makes the mixer. Behringer, they just make, this is what they do. I mean, they really don't have, I have no reasons to be worried about a Behringer product. So that's the Behringer HA400. Just so you guys know, if you wanted to take that route, both those things, my mixer and the headphone amp, they need to be powered. So if you are going to do something like this, gotta make sure you have a power supply around too. All right. Okay, Gordon's saying he's actually pointing out something pretty cool here. So it says, I've seen people Vivostarts break off the mic stand or hitting or falling. This does happen. On the bottom of the Vivostart is the mic connection here, the mic stand connection, the mounting connection, and people do have in the past knocked this over, the Mevo falls, and then this piece breaks right here. Luckily, he's mentioning it here. We do support that. We can replace that if you're inside your 1-year warranty. And actually, even if you're outside your 1-year warranty. But we try to replace them whenever we can. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick and easy repair for us. So as long as you ship it in to us, it doesn't take us too long to fix it and have it back out.
Contact us, help.mevo.com.
Yep. Leonard says, do I need NDI with OBS? You don't need it. You could use NDI with OBS, but you definitely don't need to. You could use wired webcam or
absolutely. So like for example, today
webcam.
the OBS feed that you're seeing on my end is the wireless webcam. Cool. All right. So he's saying, Fred is asking if the headphone amp is powered by USB. No, that one actually is a 12-volt power supply, so that one's going to need an outlet. So that's that. And then Jared, we're going to close out with this one. NDI is the best thing to happen to these cams. We kind of agree. It's super nice to use apps for mobility purposes, but the NDI functions are awesome for stationary, sedimentary camera installs. Semi-permanent camera installs. I agree. I mean, having the NDI feature on is awesome. You can leave it on. You don't have to constantly be changing your settings around to use it. We offer HEVC now, which is less strain on the camera itself and on the whole process. So yeah, I agree. I think NDI is going to be like the mainstay, moving forward in the future when it comes to sharing and, moving around video sources and audio sources. So cool. All right, Will, we're about an hour in here, so let's go ahead and just cover some of the other stuff that we have going on. Of course, if most of you are familiar, but if you're not, if you're just catching us at the tail end here, we do shows at twice a week 2 p.m. Eastern. Tuesdays is Ask Mevo Anything, where either Will, Joe Mevo, or myself will be on answering your questions live on the show. On the Tuesday Ask Mevo Anything shows, we like to really show you what you could do with a single Mevo using the internal app features, maybe using the Multicam app, or maybe using the Mevo 2.0 app, and just showing you what you could do with the Mevo straight out of the box. Thursdays, as you can see, we do a lot more complicated setups. We live troubleshoot, we answer questions live, we test and try out different things. We incorporate third-party things like OBS and using Skype and NDI. So those are the shows that you can see that really get the in-depth capabilities of the Mevo. So definitely tune into both of those. 2 p.m. Eastern at facebook.com/MevoCamera, twitch.tv MevoCamera, and youtube.com/MevoCamera. And of course, right now, if you are watching the show and you're like, I need to get my hands on this camera, now's the time to do it. The Vivostart is $20 off, available at Mevo.com. This sale ends this Saturday, team. So October 16th is when the sale ends. And that's really all you need to know about that. Get $20 off the Vivostart at Mevo.com. And then, of course, if you are a Mevo customer, a Mevo user, and you want to recommend to your friends or family and make a little bit kickback on your end as well, you can save them 5% on their purchase from Mevo.com, and you can also earn a 5% commission too on your end with your own custom code referral. Can't stress that enough. You can create your own custom code. So that's at Mevo.com/referral or Mevo.com/refer. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, Will, any final closing things you want to say for our team here today? We got a great discussion about NDI. It was like the number one thing we talked about today, I feel like.
I'm always happy to talk about NDI. Yeah, if you have any questions that weren't answered on the show, don't forget you can go to help.mevo.com and see all of our help articles. We've got not only guides for how to use all the Mevo features and functions, but we also have tips and tricks and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. And if you haven't found an article that answers your question, definitely open up a ticket with us. Help.mevo.com will help
All
you
right.
really
And
quickly.
we didn't mention it really today or on the show, but next week we are doing our drawing for the free Mevo. So as of some of you know, we do the contest where we do drawings for a free Mevo twice a month. And the only thing you need to do to be part of the drawing is just participate in our shows. So definitely participate next Tuesday, and then the drawing will be next Thursday. So we will see you then, and I hope everyone has a great weekend.